Hi, everybody. Today is, I want to say June 18th, 2013, and it's been a very long time since I've been in front of the camera. It's been almost a year, to be exact. It's kind of hard to put into words how much has happened in this past year and what's been going on with my life and what's kind of brought me full circle back to the 100-pound dash. Since the last time I was in front of the camera, gosh, I don't know how to say this. God has had a much, sorry, as always, the kids are coming by to do their thing. God has played a role in my life in a way that God has not before, and I was really hesitant to kind of discuss go on. Can I finish? I've been really hesitant to discuss what's been going on because this is supposed to be a show about weight loss and not a show about God, but I think in my case, clearly the two could not be separated. And it is listening to God that has brought me to where I am today and is having a crucial role in the decisions that I make in the future. And so I guess maybe I'll just tell you what's been going on. So last summer, well, around last spring, I was going through a lot of stuff personally and had kind of got to the point where I didn't really know how to deal with it myself. It seemed like it was kind of outside of my control. I wasn't liking where things were going, and I had a very, very close friend of mine, Tanya Burns, who recently passed in March, but she's has had a very, very, very strong relationship with God, and she was actually the one. It was through her encouragement, through conversation with her, and through her prayers that I was able to get through a really different time and come out at the end of it even better than when I started. And so it was because of that experience that I started to think, well, if I could trust God in this area, Fooper, stop messing with the camera.
Okay.
If I could trust God in this area, then maybe I can trust God in others. So I guess in a nutshell, I started being more receptive to kind of hearing from God. I started reading the Bible, which was really weird for me. But anyway, at the end of the day, I ended up in seminary. The woman who had kind of avoided religion like the plague is now studying God for a living. But it's interesting because I realized I've always been interested in issues of God and spirituality. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, I was in seminary this past year, and so I really had no time to do the 100-pound dash. And my schedule was just so crazy. I wasn't really exercising the way I had been before. I wasn't doing a lot of the Beachbody products, but I did actually start using the Fluidity bar, and I really love the Fluidity bar because it allowed me to do a lot of ballet moves, and I actually started to get a little bit of a butt and stuff like that. But again, once I started seminary, I went from doing that 3 days a week to 2 days a week to maybe 1 day a week. So I really didn't have a very formal exercise routine. I still tried to eat relatively healthy, but I just wasn't as rigorous in anything as I was when I originally started. But that doesn't mean I wasn't thinking about it. I mean, every morning when I get up and I see my body, I think about my weight, but I was so busy with other stuff that I kind of just figured, hey, you know, maybe this will all kind of start to take care of itself. Well, and that actually did happen. Recently, I had come across a magazine for this place called Multi-Care Health, and I'd actually known about them years ago because BJ's mom had gone to them for some stuff, and I really liked their philosophy, but it was something that I never thought I could be able to afford for myself. Well, I came across this little magazine. I wish I had it with me, this newsletter that they put out, and they talked about how your hormones could be affecting your weight, and they had pictures of kind of, you know, people in various stages of undress, and they were showing the way that hormone dysfunction could create a certain shape of your body. And I started to notice the stomachs of some of the people, the models in the newsletter kind of looked like me. And so I thought, well, gosh, you know, is it possible that, you know, at least with regards to my stomach, and I've always had a larger stomach than I really wanted or that I even felt fit my body. I was like, maybe there is something bigger than me just working out and eating right. There may be something else going on as to why I couldn't get rid of the stomach, because I realized I'd kind of gotten to the point, even though I wasn't exercising the way I should, I hadn't lost 100 pounds, I got to the point where I was still okay with my body. It's not perfect, but I was okay with it, and I realized the only thing I don't like about myself right now is my stomach. And so I thought if there was some reason why my body was not burning the fat around my stomach, then maybe I should look into it. And I also saw on the newsletter that they also accepted insurance now. So I was like, well, if they can accept insurance, then maybe I can finally afford to go talk to somebody about this and see if maybe they can help. So last week I went for an initial consultation, and they did all kinds of blood work and stuff like that. But what it looks like initially is that I may have some problems with my adrenal glands and possibly with my thyroid. But what I'm learning is that when your body does not function properly, it is possible for it to hold on to stomach fat. And it doesn't matter how much you work out. It doesn't matter how much you eat right. If your body has it in its mind, if for some particular reason your body does not want to let that fat go, it doesn't matter what you do, and you have to get your body back in balance to figure it out. So it turns out I might be allergic to some foods, and I'm still waiting to get the final results. But I went back for a second visit the other day, and they started me on some supplements to help, I guess, build up the strength of my adrenal glands, and I'm still waiting to get the results of my thyroid panel. But it looks like I may actually be able to get rid of my stomach after all, and it's not going to be through eating right. Well, I'm not going to say not eating right. It's going to be through eating foods that are good for my body and that actually allow my body to burn fat naturally. So once I get my adrenal gland back in balance and my thyroid back in balance, my body will automatically burn this fat. And it was funny because Dr. Johnson, he said that my stomach right now was almost like my pantry. It was where my body was storing food just in case it wasn't going, just in case it wasn't going to get what it needed. It stores fat just in case it might need it. So what I have to get to is get to a point where my body is healthy enough and is balanced enough to know, okay, you can go ahead and burn this fat. So that's where I'm at right now. It's kind of hard to believe that after all this time that maybe I've actually found a solution to this. Because like I said, I don't want to have a perfect body. I just want a body that feels like it's mine. And my stomach, all this right here just doesn't feel like it's mine. So I'm going to be picking up the 100-pound dash, but I'm going to be picking it up with probably where I should have started from the first place, which is first, before you start any exercise program, I'm starting to see that it's very important that you at least figure out how your body's functioning and if your body's in balance and if your body can even burn fat. And so also finding out if there are any particular foods that you're allergic to and things of that nature. So I'm starting to see that any sort of weight loss program has to be customized, and it has to be based on, you have to have a knowledge of how your body actually operates and whether or not it's in balance. Because if your body is out of balance, you can do all this exercise and you can do all this eating right, but if it's out of balance, you're not going to burn fat the way that your body is actually built to do. So I'm going to be checking in. I'm going to be keeping you abreast of this process. As you can tell, I'm still kind of new to it myself, and I don't want to misspeak, so I want to make sure that I gather more information as I go along. But I will say this, and I'm going to have to put it out there, it is only because of my relationship that I've built with God that I've even been open enough to follow these steps. What are you doing? What are you doing? That I've only been open to do these things. So I hope that this doesn't turn anybody off. But it's just my truth. That it was my commitment to be truthful to my particular journey, and it is through an increased relationship with God that I have made changes in every aspect of my life. And so if that can be a source of inspiration for someone, that's good. And if you're someone that doesn't believe in God, that still doesn't mean that you can't embark on your own journey and still make transformation or create transformation in your life. So that's all for now. I just really wanted to sit down and get this out there, just to, I guess, maybe more for myself, to create some accountability for myself, that I do want to start this again, and just to admit that I had fallen off, that I hadn't really made my body a commitment, but for some reason it still came back around full circle, and I'm back here again with hope and faith that I'm going to learn more about my body, learn how my body functions, and then use that as a roadmap for the future steps that I take. But I guess everything that I went through before was still something that needed to be done, and it was part of my process, so I don't want to consider it wasted time. And I did get to the point where I am happy with most parts of my body. So the past year and a half, 2 years wasn't wasted. It wasn't in vain. But now it's just time for me to get ready for the next phase of my journey to health and wellness. With much love. Oh, and I got a new tattoo as well. Isn't she beautiful?
Yeah, me too.
This, get out. Oh my God. It's a peacock, and I call her Princess P, and I'm just completely and totally in love with her. And I'll probably check back in too to kind of keep you abreast of other things that have happened in my life as well. Because I'm just really excited about the direction that my life is going. But anyway, peace, love, and blessings, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.
I'll see you in the video.